How could we not invite our next guest onto our 100th program? He's been on countless episodes, providing us with laughs and many classic moments along the way. You saw him defend his heavyweight title this past weekend against Alistair Overeem. And before he goes on his honeymoon, he's been kind enough to join us today, the undisputed UFC heavyweight champion, Stipe Miocic. Welcome back to episode 100 of Submission Radio.
Hey, thanks for having me on, guys. I feel special.
You should feel special. I mean, heavyweight champion, submission radio, they go hand in hand. And this is a crazy situation because you're actually at the station right now. So we never know when you're going to get a call and when you're going to have to duck out like Batman in the middle of the night. So let's get straight into it. You've got a honeymoon going, but you're also currently moving house. When's the big move-in officially happening, Stipe?
In a couple weeks, actually.
Wow. Well,
we don't know exactly, so we're figuring that out now. So it'll be at least for sure mid-October, if not earlier.
Well, the most important question is, have you given the new house a name yet? Because we've come up with 4 variations, and if you had to choose one, which one would it be? The Cleveland Palace of Doom, the Steep Cave of Mayhem, the Croatian Manor, or finally Stipe and Ryan's Champions B&B. The last one is a business idea.
Oh yeah, I'm going with the third one, the Croatian Manor.
The Croatian Manor. I can see Crow Cop doing the pop-in, just coming by every now and then. It is the Croatian Manor after all. Let's quickly go over the floor plan of this new house, Stipe. You're the UFC champion, and UFC champ people just don't need. What kind of man cave area are we talking about here, and how big is the big screen TV going to be?
Well, it's in the basement. It's a man cave. It's got a projector screen, so I think it's like 75 or 100 inches.
Wow.
It's got its own thing. It's pretty sweet. It was nice. I was like, sweet, because I was just going to put a TV down there, but it already came in with it. So I said, that's great. So I'm excited. But also I'm going to put another one in. We have a 3,000 square foot barn, and we're going to put that. Then we're going to put a little living couches and, like a TV in there so I can watch football games and stuff during football season and stuff.
What did you say, Steve? You've got a barn there.
Yeah, it's like a 3,000 square foot barn. It's real nice.
Are you going to have animals in there as well, or is this more just for entertainment?
It's nothing like that. It's a barn, but it's it's metal. You know what I mean? It's more of the guy before me that owned it. It was a shop for work and stuff. He put his stuff in there for work.
Ah, nice.
So it's almost like a garage, like a huge garage.
Yeah, you might have a few animals in there, animals from the firehouse trying to drink all of your beer. Am I right? Now, quickly, before we get into UFC 203, we have to mention that we enjoyed your embedded episodes leading into the event. But be honest with us. What happened when the wife saw the episode of you hanging up on her?
Oh, she's used to it. She's just, one day she'll probably stab me when I'm sleeping.
I love it. I mean, obviously, we know Ryan is a great girl, but what do you think the funniest prank is that you've ever pulled on her that you can share with us? And how do you prepare for the impending doom that awaits once the prank is over?
There's a lot of pranks I've done to her. I think the funniest one is when you walk in our house now, right to the left, we have a closet, a sliding door closet, and you can't see, it's got a mirror on it, so you can't see anything on it. So I always hide in there where the coats are. And so when she reaches in to open the door, I grab her hand.
What have you? Because obviously you never know when she's going to go in there. Has there ever been a situation where you plan on hiding from her and you're camping out for hours and hours just waiting for her? Because I can see you being that dedicated.
No, I've done that multiple times, yes. But nothing. Usually she comes straight to the closet to put her shoes in there because our dogs like to chew on shoes, so we always put our shoes away. So I know she's going to walk in there first.
Wow. Okay, well, let's go back to last weekend. You admitted during the post-fight press conference that fighting in Brazil was easier than fighting in your hometown of Cleveland. Obviously, everybody loves you in Cleveland. There was a lot of stuff going on. What exactly made it more difficult for you?
Just trying to please everyone, make sure they got their tickets and stuff like that, and just a lot of the hype. I like traveling and just doing my thing. And listen, I love Cleveland. I'll fight there again. I love the city more than anything. It was just easier because I didn't have any other stresses to worry about.
Were nerves a factor as well? Like, was it a case when you were entering or in the arena where you felt like you had to live up to the crowd's expectations?
A little bit, not really. I just thought, I was definitely nervous just because, I'm fighting a big man that's really good and such a decorative fighter. Overeem, he's an amazing fighter. And then also, just everyone screaming, going crazy. I got chills walking out, and I just didn't want to get caught up in the moment.
Well, speaking of fans, you in particular had a very passionate supporter at the open workouts. Although there was only what seemed like 100 people there, he gave Alistair Overeem a hard time, heckling him for the entire duration of the workout and scrum. Did you happen to run into that fan, and have you watched the footage of him doing his work on Overeem?
Yeah, actually, I met him at the hotel and stuff, and I met him at the open workout. He's a good kid, he's crazy, but
Did you slip him? Did you slip him a $20 note, or was this all real?
No, it was all him, man. That was funny. It was all him, but he's a good dude, man. He's a good guy. We talked for a little bit. I met him at the open workout, so we were just hanging out, a little bit.
Wow, that would have been an amazing moment for him. I mean, if you had to pick one moment from the entire lead up in Cleveland that stands out to you, a fan, something someone said to you, a gift, a post, or something, what was it?
Just walking out. That was probably one of the most amazing things I ever felt.
What? Let me ask you. I know you had to sort of tune it out because you just had a title fight to go into. But what went through your mind at that moment?
I was like, "Damn, this is crazy." And I was like, I just couldn't believe it because I fought in Cleveland before, but nothing to that magnitude.
Yeah. Cleveland definitely delivered that night. The actual night itself was an interesting one. Before we get to some of the other fights on the card, what did you make of CM Punk's debut? And did you say anything to him after his fight? Because I know you guys sort of hang out around the same area in the back.
Yeah, just don't keep your head up, man. It's not hard to get knocked down. It's about how you get up. He's a great dude. He's a real good dude. I give him all the credit in the world for training like that and going in there and doing his first fight in the UFC just like that against a tough dude like that.
I'm wondering, because there's obviously a big debate if he deserved that $500,000 payday. A lot of the MMA purists are sort of up in arms about it. And obviously the fact that if he should fight in the UFC again, he's a big draw. The pay-per-view numbers did well. He gets fans talking. But where do you sit on, I guess, the payday in his future in the UFC?
I mean, it's the world we live in, you know what I mean? Like, people want to see him fight. I mean, should get compensated, It's just anything you do, And listen, man, like he brought a lot of pay-per-view sales, helped me out a lot. So, I mean, listen, man, I give him all the credit for going out there and doing what he did, man. I praise him for that, man. It wasn't his night, but listen, he trained, and he gave all he's got. Unfortunately, it was going to lose again, but he still went out there.
I know he trained over at Strong Style leading into the event a little bit with his coaches. Do you reckon you maybe could invite him down there at some point and even show him a few moves yourself?
Oh, no, he's good, man. When he's at Duke, Duke's an amazing coach. So, I mean, he's got nothing to worry about with Duke. He's an amazing coach, too.
Another sort of interesting point of the night was this whole fiasco with Werdum and Browne. First off, the fact that the referee didn't stop the fight when Werdum broke Browne's finger. Did you get a chance to see that, and what did you think of Verdum's performance that night?
Oh, yeah, he did. He did what he was supposed to do. He won the fight. And it sucked, for Travis broke his finger, and then, the craziness that happened at the end of the fight, and push cooking his coach and all that. It was, I wasn't trying to look too much into it. I was trying to worry about my fight. I was up next, so that's all I was caring about.
Yeah, we want to ask you about what's going to be happening with the Werdum and Cain Velasquez in a second, but you mentioned what happened at the end of the fight where Travis's coach Edmund yelled a few things at Werdum, which saw him kick him back, and a brawl almost broke out. It was a pretty crazy moment. You mentioned that you sort of saw that in the back, but where do you sort of sit on that? Because people are divided. Obviously, at the end of a fight, your emotions are high and adrenaline's going through your body, so things happen. So a lot of people are sort of putting that down to that. Other people are saying that Werdum should get some kind of fine for doing that. What do you land on that?
Honestly, I'm not even worried about it because I had nothing to do with it. So I'm just gonna keep quiet. Like honestly, I mean, who knows? I wasn't there. I didn't hear what happened. I just just saw what happened. But there could be a lot more to it. We don't know. So I mean, listen, I'm just gonna keep quiet, and it is what it is.
Good man. Well, the big moment, of course, of the night came when you beat Alistair Overeem in the main event. There were a few fascinating moments in that fight where Alistair he moved around a lot. He was trying to reset and create distance, but at some point it almost looked like he was sort of jogging around the octagon. What was going through your mind as that was happening and, you were chasing him around that octagon?
I just, keep moving and try to cut him off. The only time I stopped moving is when he crushed me with that left hand in my face. But I would just try to, cut him off. And eventually, I started cutting him off better and started getting my shots off like I wanted.
Did you actually expect him to run around like that? Because obviously, Jackson Winklejohn, great camp, and Alistair's known for resetting, creating distance, but we haven't really seen him jog around the octagon before. Were you sort of, in the back of your mind, I suppose, afraid not to commit too much to running after him as he's jogging around that octagon in case there's some kind of other sneaky plan going on?
Yeah, of course, you always got to be careful. But I know he's trying to keep his distance. And he was doing the right thing he wanted to do. He was listening to his coaches, keep his distance, trying to, keep me at a long distance where I wasn't going to be able to get in close and get in the pocket and start using my boxing better. So he was doing his thing, man. And totally, I expected that.
Talk to us about that finishing sequence, Stipe, where you hit him with those last few punches on the ground and you saw he was out. Did you expect the fight to finish in that fashion? Did you sort of visualize that particular sequence leading into the fight? And I'm wondering if you thought, I know you're always sort of ready for 5 rounds, but did you think the fight was going to finish in the first round and that quickly?
No, I mean, listen, when I got him down, I was like, I got to finish this, man. I got him where I want him. And, I was hitting him with shots, too. I was like, I just got to get one in there. And luckily I did. I got that one I needed in there. And, that's when I kept hitting him with the right hand, and it worked out well.
Well, speaking of the Cleveland crowd, I mean, your entrance was huge, but that moment when you stopped him and everybody just exploded, you jump up on that cage, everything's just, it's like a movie pretty much. I will be honest, you could throw that in any kind of Hollywood movie, and I think anybody would be happy with an ending like that. What was going through your mind? You're the champion, you have your first title defense, it's in front of Cleveland, and you did it, and everyone's just going crazy.
It was amazing, man. That crowd was something that was just it's surreal, man. Like I still get chills thinking about, goosebumps thinking about that. I mean, I got the best fans in the damn sport. I'm telling you right now.
It was definitely a massive feel-good moment. Obviously, when people think of Cleveland, they think of LeBron. He's had a lot of good moments like that in his career. Was this your sort of LeBron moment? Did you feel like the king of Cleveland at that point?
No, man. Listen, I'm just happy that the Cleveland has something to celebrate. We have a championship, another championship to celebrate. It's not like, they can't say anything anymore. We're City of Champions. We win, and it's great.
Yeah, it really looks like it means a lot for Cleveland. It's really great to see. We know that you're one of the nicest guys in the UFC. Did you speak to Overeem after the fight? And if so, what did you say to him?
I mean, we talked a little bit, before they announced that I was a winner. And I just said, hey, man, you kick like a mule. You're a tough dude, keep your head up, and that was about it. He was getting checked out and then he'd do his stuff.
There were some comments made afterwards by Joe Rogan about how, he doesn't want to really interview fighters after they've been knocked out, after Overeem claimed that you tapped in the post-fight interview. And, unfortunately, they had to replay that guillotine over and over again. Do you think he's got a point about that?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I've been there, too. I mean, when I fought Struve, I was a little messed up in the head, too, And I understand where he's coming from with that, it's because you don't know what you're doing, you don't know what you're saying.
Okay, because, it's kind of a crazy situation because you win the belt and you're on your way out of the octagon, but you must have heard him saying that he thought that you tapped. So did it sort of, I know you're a nice guy, but it sort of annoy you or take anything away from your win at that point? Or was it more of a situation where you sort of felt bad for Overeem because it was a pretty awkward situation seeing the replay over and over, proving there was no tap?
No, man, I understand, you just, like I said, I've been in that situation before, and you just don't know what you're saying. You kind of don't remember w's going on, and it's just tough. It's a tough situation. I mean, it is what it is, man. It just sucks, and listen, it's just bad timing, I guess.
All right, well, let's move on to that night. You're obviously in Cleveland, your hometown. The crowd loves you. I mean, winning the belt must have been amazing, but how crazy was it for you celebrating your first title defense in Cleveland? I mean, we imagine there's, invitations from LeBron, Drew Carey. Who did you end up going with, and what was that night like?
Oh, no, I just had a little after party.
Little? Come on, Stipe, don't lie to us.
Yeah, it was a lot of people there. It was great. Hung out there for I only could be there for like 20 minutes, half an hour, and then we left, went to a smaller place that we knew the owner, and we just kind of hung out with family and the coaches and stuff.
So what was this small place like? Are we talking like a restaurant or was it a club?
Yeah, like a little restaurant bar. It was real nice. It was I was there. I left about 5:30, and my coach left about 6:30. We just hung out. I didn't have like 2 or 3 glasses of wine and just hung out and just bullshitted.
Wow.
Well, 2 or 3 glasses of wine, because I was just about to ask you. Everybody's got their first celebratory meal, but, I was wondering what your special drink of choice is after you get the victory finish and the night is young. Are you telling me that you were just drinking wine that night? Maybe some cheese, a nice cheese board, cured meat, perhaps?
No, not at all. Just a couple glasses of wine and just relax, man. Just soaked it all in.
You're a classy champion. I don't think too many people drink wine on the UFC roster. So I like that you're sort of stepping it up. All right, we know you're already sick of people asking you who should fight next, and we know that you'll fight anyone the UFC wants. But at this stage, if we were matchmaking, I think the two potential fights would be between Cain Velasquez, potentially Jon Jones. Question is, what's more important to you, taking a big super fight with Jon or continuing to build your legacy at heavyweight against Cain?
Honestly, it doesn't matter to me. Honestly, whoever they want me to fight, I'll fight. Listen, I'm a champ, and I'm not going to pick and choose who I fight. Who they want me to fight, I'm going to fight. So I really don't care.
Well, let's get this straight. If you were to fight Jon Jones, do you think it would be right for your title to be on the line? Because technically, Jon isn't a heavyweight and he hasn't ever fought in the division before. So some people could see that as him sort of jumping over everyone and getting a title shot in an unfair fashion.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, there's a lot of ways you can look at it, So I'm not good at that stuff. Like, if I was a matchmaker, I wouldn't be fighting. So I'm just a fighter, and, they tell me I want to fight. So that's all I worry about.
You're obviously the man everybody's calling out now. Is it refreshing that, after having to call out guys for such a long time and claw your way to the title and really get your name out there, now you're the man that not only the heavyweight division wants, but also a big star like Jon Jones wants? What does that feel like?
Oh, it's cool. It means I'm doing something right.
Well, what was your reaction when you saw that Jon was interested in fighting you?
Oh, that's cool, man. It was a great fight, I think. I just, it shows that, I'm doing something right, and, people want to fight me.
Did it surprise you a little bit? Because, Jon's been talking about going to heavyweight for a long time now, and it never really seemed sort of certain. Obviously, him being a light heavyweight, you were a little bit surprised to see that call out, especially after you just, beat Overeem like that.
No, I mean, it is what it is, man. Honestly, I don't care. I just, I'm just living it up. I'm going to, worry about fighting anyone for a while, so it's all good.
Well, we had Demetrius Johnson on the show last week, and I don't know if you know, but he's actually trying to catch up to Anderson Silva's title defense record. We're sure that's a goal for you as well at some point, but now with one title defense down, you've only got one more to tie the record and two more to beat it. Have you thought about that fact?
No, but all I care about is keeping that belt for a long time, so that's all I'm worried about.
You'll be going for that Anderson Silva, potentially Demetrius Johnson record.
Oh, yeah, I mean, listen, one fight at a time.
I'm always impressed with how grounded you are, Stipe. That knockout over Overeem, what kind of message do you think that a performance like that sends to the rest of the division and potential future challengers that step up and, compete for your title?
Honestly, I don't know. I was just happy to get the win and walk out of there with the belt. So that's all I wanted to do. That's what I was planning to do. I'm just happy and blessed that I got to do it and do it in my hometown and on to the next.
Yeah, I've been walking the streets, Stipe, and I feel like this victory has opened up a lot of people's eyes. Not only the fighters, but the fans, the media, the critics. Are you now starting to feel like you're getting the much-deserved respect that you probably deserved a while back?
I'm not worried about it, honestly. Listen, they can keep doubting me. They can keep me as the underdog. I'm going to keep proving you wrong. I like shutting people up.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've been doing that for a long time now, and the interesting thing is the MMA heavyweight landscape hasn't had a truly dominant heavyweight who's, reigned supreme since Fedor Emelianenko. Do you think you could be that guy? Could you be this generation's Fedor, Stipe?
I know I could. I could be one of those guys that keeps it up for a long time, and I'm going to.
And Fedor is a very humble guy as well, so there's a lot of similarities there. Let me ask you this, though, because you want to take a break. Obviously, you're going on your honeymoon. You're going to be away for a number of months. News has just come out that it looks like Cain Velasquez and Fabricio Werdum will be fighting each other while you're away to determine who's going to be fighting for the title next. I don't know if you've heard of the news just yet because it broke quite recently, but what did you think of when you saw the news? Do you think it's a good move by the UFC while you're away to sort of determine who the next number one contender is?
I mean, I'm so bland. I mean, yeah, it's whatever they want to do. I mean, it's what they feel like, they want to do, whoever they want to matchmake with. I just, like I said, if I was a matchmaker, I wouldn't be fighting. So, it's whatever the UFC wants to do, and whoever they want to put in front of me, I'll fight.
It's an interesting matchup. Cain Velasquez, obviously a very, very dangerous fighter. And Fabricio Werdum, even though he looked a little bit flat in his last performance, we all know what he can do when he's in shape and in the right frame of mind. When you see these two guys matching up, in your mind, who do you think comes out as the winner in the matchup?
It's tough, because, Werdum got it last time, and, Cain's getting better, and he's an amazing fighter, and, I think just whoever implements the game plan. I think Werdum did that last time. That's why he won the fight. So it depends on what who does what they want to do in that fight.
Is it a part of you sort of hoping it's Cain, because you've already beaten Werdum before, and I know it'll still be a great fight to see you versus Werdum number 2, but this Cain fight, I mean, a lot of people are very, very excited about it. I know it's more exciting to train for a new opponent. Does a part of you sort of wish that out of those two you get Cain next rather than Werdum?
Honestly, I don't care. I know. I'm just saying the same thing over and over again. But yeah, like I said, it's whoever the UFC wants me to fight, man, I'll fight. If they want me to fight Cain, I'll fight Cain. If they want me to fight Werdum, I'll fight Werdum. I'm not, a picky fighter.
Yeah,
I signed up for a reason. They want me to fight, I'll fight.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that people respect about you, Stipe, and they'll remember about you, in years to come, that he was a guy who, he didn't do a lot of trash talking, but he just kind of kept his head down. He went in there and he did the job, and who knows, maybe you'll have that massive record. Stipe, we appreciate the time. We're going to let you go in a second, but I mean, obviously you won the title. You were at work on Tuesday, and you're at work right now. Are you're always grinding away in the gym? How ready are you to take this holiday? Because it seems like you've been flat out for the last few years.
Yeah, right. Yeah, now I'm excited to move in my house and just actually enjoy my life a little bit and not worry about fighting. I want to train and stuff, but not worry about a fight.
Is there a chance Stipe gets a taste of the golden beaches and the colorful fruity drinks and decides, why have I been working so hard? I'll get a job working as a surf instructor at the beach and enjoy the good life.
I think about it all the time, trust me.
We think about it all the time too. I mean, we can open up a surf thing at a beach.
Or the tiki bar, I'm in.
Yeah,
Awesome.
There'll be a tiki bar. There'll be a barn as well for entertainment. All right, quickly, last question, Stipe, we're out of your hair. We know that obviously you mentioned coming down to Australia. You've got family in Melbourne. We've got UFC Melbourne coming up in November. And are you and Ryan still planning on coming down under in the next few months or this year? And if so, is it likely you'll be coming down as a guest fighter to sort of, kill two birds with one stone?
I don't know. I kind of sit back and see what the UFC wants me to do and talk to them some more. And, we'll figure it all out here next week or so. So, you never know. It looks like it, maybe not. I just don't know what they want me to do.
Do you have any rough plans on when you'll be in Australia regardless, even if you don't come in November as a guest fighter? Have you sort of set a date when you might come down, do seminars or anything like that?
No, nothing yet.
Well, in the meantime and in between time, we'll be preparing a bedroom in our house for Stipe and Ryan, just in case they decide to come down. Stipe, I hope you liked scrambled eggs, because that's the only type we make in the Dennis household. Guys, make sure to follow Stipe on Twitter at Stipe Miocic UFC, and make sure to keep an eye for him and his wonderful wife, Ryan, in Australia at some point in the near future this year. Thanks so much, champ. It's such a pleasure having you on our 100th episode. How crazy is this? 100 episodes in, we start talking. Now you're the champ. We're 100 episodes in. We've had such a great run. I'm looking forward to having you on many more title defenses and many more episodes in the future.
Thanks for that. Appreciate it. You guys have a great day, all right?